Hi, I am Abhinandan Bhattacharjee, a PhD student from IIT Kanpur, and today I'll talk about measurement of two-photon position momentum EPR correlations through single photon cross-spectral density measurements. And the central takeaway message from this presentation is that the two-photon EPR correlations can be measured by detecting the coherence properties of one of the photons. So let's begin. In SPDC process, we have the pump beam which interacts with a nonlinear crystal, and one of the pump photon gets down converted into the signal and idler entangled photon pairs, and in that process the energy as well as the momentum remains conserved. Now if we measure or fix the position of the idler photon and look at the uncertainty in the position of the signal photon, that we refer as the conditional position uncertainty, and the corresponding probability distribution is known as conditional position probability distribution. And we repeat the same measurement in the momentum basis and we will get the conditional momentum uncertainty. And if the uncertainty product is less than h bar by 2, it is the violation of Heisenberg uncertainty relation, and which is a signature of EPR correlation. And the demonstration of EPR correlation has significant implications in coincidence imaging or in quantum imaging, where this uncertainty numbers decides the image resolution. Therefore, an accurate way of measuring EPR correlation is an important task. Now, we'll look at the existing methods for measuring EPR correlation. And all the existing methods relied on coincidence detection, that is detecting both the photons in a simultaneous manner. And it has been implemented in various ways. And the most common way is the use of single photon detectors with slits. And this is the position basis measurement picture where the crystal plane is imaged on these two detectors, where we fix the slit on the idler part and move the slit in the signal part. And if we look at the coincidence, that will give us the conditional position uncertainty. And if we repeat the same measurement in the Fourier plane, that will give us the conditional momentum uncertainty. But the major problem with this technique is that it involves a lot of loss and resolution issues. More recently, another better technique has been introduced, that is coincidence measurement using EMCCD cameras, where the BBO plane and its Fourier planes are imaged on this camera, and one needs to collect a large number of frames. And if we look at two different regions in the frame and find the correlation between them using this formula, and that gives the estimate of coincidence count between these two regions. And from the coincidence count, we can figure out the conditional uncertainties. But this method requires a large number of image accumulation, vast computational post-processing, as well as it is very sensitive with the distances. So the experimental setup needs to be aligned very precisely. Therefore, this all coincidence type detections are actually suffering from different practical or experimental issues, and that adversely affect the accuracy of EPR correlation measurement. One good news is that recently the two photon correlation or entanglement witness has been observed at least for pure states by performing some intensity measurement on one of the photons or on one of the subsystems. And these are the examples of that. And these results do show that the intensity based measurements are doing a better job in terms of accuracy than the coincidence measurements. And this motivates us to address the problem of EPR correlation in that direction. So this is our theory, and it tells that EPR correlation can be measured by detecting the coherence properties of one of the photons. So we start with a pure two photon source, and this is the two photon momentum wave function, and this is our prime interest, the conditional probability distribution and the corresponding uncertainty of the signal photon. And now if this two photon wave function actually satisfies this particular condition, Then the conditional probability distribution maps into this quantity, which we call as the cross-spectral density, or the 2-point correlation of the signal part or the signal photon in the momentum basis, and it carries the coherence information of the signal beam only. And the measurement of the cross-spectral density doesn't require any coincidence detection. And since P is proportional to W, therefore, by measuring W, we can figure out the conditional momentum uncertainty. Next, if the wave function in the position basis also satisfies the same condition, then by measuring the position cross-spectral density of the signal photon, we can figure out the conditional position uncertainty. And now we use these two conditions for measuring EPR correlation, and let's begin with an example. So collinear type 1 SPDC process, and this is the 2-photon wave function in that process, and this wave function actually satisfies these above conditions, and hence we have these results. And they imply that by measuring the momentum and the position cross-spectral density functions, we can observe or realize EPR correlations without any coincidence detection. And now we present our experimental demonstration for this theory. So this is our experimental setup. First, we start with the position. The BBO plane is imaged into this camera plane through this interferometer. And we use this interferometer to measure the cross-spectral density function. And if we take a careful look, in one of the arms, we have two mirrors. The input field then goes through two reflection and remains unaffected like this. On the other arm, we have three mirrors, and hence it goes through an odd number of reflection. As a result, the input field will be inverted about the reflection axis, and which makes x2 minus x. And at the camera, we expect the all x point of the input field will interfere with the minus x point. And this is the interferogram expression that we'll see on the camera. And this term actually contains the cross-spectral density function, and which is our prime interest or the central interest. And our job is to now extract this cross-spectral density function in an efficient manner. And this delta is the phase difference between the two arms. Now we take two interferograms, one at delta is equal to 0, other one is at delta is equal to pi. And if we subtract them, we'll get the W. So this is the measured interferogram at delta is equal to 0. This is at pi. And if we subtract, we'll get the cross-spectral density function in 2D. Now, if we perform an integration along y direction, we'll get the one-dimensional cross-spectral density function, and which is the conditional position probability distribution experimentally. And for comparison, we plot the theoretical conditional probability distribution. And this blue one is the theoretical curve, and it fits very nicely with the experimental data points. Now we move to the momentum measurement. For that, we image the Fourier plane on the camera plane using this particular lens combination and repeat the same set of measurements. So these are the interferograms at 0 and at pi, and if we subtract, we'll get the 2D cross-spectral density function. And now if we perform an integration, that will give us the 1D plots. And we do see a very nice match between the theoretical curve and the experimental data points. Now, if we look at the widths of these two experimental plots, that will give us the measured conditional uncertainties. So these are the position conditional uncertainty and the momentum conditional uncertainty at the crystal plane that we have measured. And this is the measured uncertainty product, which is less than h bar by 2. And it is the signature of EPR correlation and also a witness for position momentum entanglement. And hence, we have demonstrated experimentally EPR correlations without any coincidence detection. Now, one point that we want to emphasize that how good is our experimental technique is in comparison to the established or the existing coincidence-based methods. So let's look at that. First, from the accuracy perspective. So this is the uncertainty product for our experiment, and this is the experimental number, and this is the theoretical uncertainty product for our experimental setup. And we can see these two numbers are quite close. And to quantify the accuracy, we define this quantity f, and if f is small, that means better accuracy. For our result, it is about 15%, whereas these are the numbers in the literature, and we do find our measurement scheme has improved the accuracy by a very good extent, and also our result reports the most accurate EPR correlation measurement in position momentum so far. Next point that we want to look is the degree of violation, and it's a very common quantity in the EPR business where one wants to find how much this uncertainty product is smaller than the upper bound 0.5 H bar. And this is the number for our setup, which is our experimental number for our setup, which is 900 almost. And these are the numbers in the literature. And we do find that we are reporting the highest degree of violation or the observation of tightest position momentum EPR correlation. And from these points, we can say that the intensity based measurements are doing a better job than the coincidence based measurement in the context of EPR. And now I want to summarize. We have demonstrated position momentum EPR correlation without any coincidence detection. Also, we have reported the most accurate EPR correlation measurement and the highest degree of violation so far. And our presented scheme is not only applicable for the SPDC process, it also works for the four-way mixing process. And last, this scheme requires coherence measurements. So we believe it can be extendable in the other degrees of freedom also. And this points makes the sense that our presented scheme can have wide utility in the applications where one needs EPR correlation. And now I want to thank my collaborators, Dr. Neelkant Meher, a postdoc student in our group, and Dr. Anand Kumar Jha, who is my thesis supervisor, and our group members. And for financial support, IIT Kanpur and DST. And I also want to thank the scope organizers who give me the opportunity to present my work in this platform. And thank you for your attention.